All right, hey everybody. Want to make a short video today on the other diminished scale. So last video I did was the half whole diminished, and I gave you an application for that. Was whenever you have a dominant chord with a flat 9, use the half whole diminished. So if you're not sure what I mean by all that, please check out the video. But basically you're going to construct the diminished scale based off of the root of the dominant chord. So if it's a C7, flat 9, I'm going to start my diminished scale on a C. That's how I'm going to construct it, at least. Start on a C and go a half step above, C sharp or D flat. Whole step above that, E flat. Half step above that, E. Whole step above that, F sharp. You get the picture. That's how I'm going to construct it. But I'm not talking about that scale today. Today I'm going to talk about the whole half. So kind of the reverse of it, whole half. And I want to show you a very standard progression where this scale is applied and a very standard chord. That chord is a passing diminished chord. So this progression, very standard in jazz. C major, passing diminished, up a half step, C sharp, diminished, to D minor. Up another half step to E flat, fully diminished. Then up to some kind of, I'm going to play a C major over E. That is a very standard progression. Okay, so I kept going. But this is a very standard progression in jazz, and I never knew what to do with this passing diminished. So what I would end up defaulting to were just triads. I would arpeggiate the chord. So if I started on this C, now there's nothing wrong with that. That sounds fine, but there is a chord scale that goes along with that fully diminished chord, and that chord scale is the whole half diminished. So how do I start constructing it? Well, the first note of the scale is going to be the root of the diminished. C sharp, then I go a whole step. That's why you have the W and the half up here. Whole step away from C sharp, D sharp, half step above D sharp, E natural, whole step, F sharp, half step, G, whole step A, half step B flat, whole step C. So now I can run that scale. Now that gives me a whole lot of different sound than just. So you're able to weave in a little bit better using that chord scale. And then I always use, so it's D minor here. I'm using a D Dorian. Basically, still, you know, C major, but a D Dorian here. E flat, fully diminished. So how do I build that? Well, it's right here. E flat's 1, whole step above is F, half step above G flat, so forth and so on. Whole half. Sorry, played it wrong. Here we go. So, and then I would resolve it here. Some type of C major. So, if I'm doing this in real time, well, actually, I'll just take it out of time a little bit. So C major. So, I'm just running the scale, and then, I did a little pattern in there, that little Coltrane pattern. I'm sure you can find that online. Anyway, getting this sound is going to be way better, and you have way more notes than just the arpeggio. Or again, they work and they're great sounds, but how much more when you can have all the chord scale. And the chord scale that goes with this is going to be the whole half. So understanding these two applications, in the first video, it was the half whole application, which is the dominant chord with the flat 9. You build it off of the root of the dominant, starting with the root, then a half step, then a whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. Now this one, when I have a passing diminished chord, notice the chromatic movement here. C, C sharp, D, E flat, E. I've got the chromatic movement in the bass. I've got this passing diminished. I'm going to build my scale off of the root of the diminished. So let me blow a little bit on this little progression, and then hopefully this will help you in your understanding of diminished. I'll do it again. Now, I'm a little more comfortable with this, so I'm able to kind of move around a little bit more. But if you just run the scales, understand how they are constructed, and then the application. This application is for the passing fully diminished chord, or when you have a fully diminished chord, you're going to build the whole half diminished. All right, hope this helps.